Throughout my time on this channel, and especially after my last Empire video, I have gotten many requests to talk about Diddy. Here is how Diddy built his empire. Starting with some background, Diddy, a man who has had many names, was born Sean Combs in Harlem, New York. Throughout his career, he has gone by Puff Daddy, Puffy, P. Diddy, and Diddy. Diddy was always interested in business, attending Howard University. That wouldn't last long until 1990 when he went straight into the record industry, becoming an intern at Uptown Records. Within a year, he was vice president, gaining great experience from running a label. All throughout his life, he was working within music as well, being a popular dancer and artist. In 1993 is when Diddy would be let go from Uptown Records, which would be the major stepping stone to building his empire. At a young age of 12 is when Diddy first started to make money running a paper route. This was motivation behind his living situation with his family. Diddy was learning about the steps he needed to take to make the changes he wanted. This has followed him into where he is today within music and the business world. We have seen the passion that Diddy has towards his ventures, especially when closing deals. Diddy's current net worth is over 900 million, teetering on that billionaire line, which is why I am excited to get into his different income streams. Going into music, Diddy has released 4 studio albums, 2 collaborative albums, 1 remix album, and 1 mixtape. His first album, No Way Out, released in 1997, would sell over 5 million copies, with the title track topping Billboard for 12 weeks in a row. In total, Diddy himself has sold over 12 million copies throughout his career, just a small percentage of total sales for his label. He was also a featured artist for some legends who were signed to his label. We will get more into that later. Here is a breakdown from Forbes of Diddy's estimated earnings from his music catalog per year. The music within his catalog and the roots he has in hip-hop led him to having growth in value over time. Music catalogs are investments, and we have seen more of that outlook with artists, labels, and investing firms. Diddy owns his music, which makes that yearly income important for growth outside of music. Growing that income over time opened up investment opportunities while still having cash reserves of over $75 million. Diddy's music vision was long-term, from becoming a major producer into his artist careers. He is someone that can bring out the best of an artist in the studio, which brought many of the hits he produced. He was not always hands-on, but saw the overall and long-term benefits of quality. His production credits dive deep into these artists' catalogs, which continue to bring in royalties to him. Diddy understood that with what he was building, he would need to be receiving benefits over 25 years later. Creating his own music alongside this production just built upon his multiple revenue streams. A major income stream that built Diddy's empire was his record label experience. Like I mentioned before, Diddy went from intern to vice president at Uptown Records. This was so important for his career because he got to see a label operate on every level, which influenced how he would start his own label. Diddy has an obsession for success and closing deals, which is what led to Bad Boy Records being so successful. In 1993, Diddy would start Bad Boy Records, which put him in the position to be where he is at today. Leading up to the start of Bad Boy, Diddy wasn't just scouting for Uptown, he was keeping an eye on talent as he knew that hip-hop was growing and he had a place in it. This led to him signing artists like the Notorious B.I.G., Craig Mack, and more. This lineup would dominate with over 10 million in sales within 3 years. It is important to mention that Diddy was not the sole owner of Bad Boy until 2002. The label was formed with a distribution deal from Arista Records, which eventually owned 30 million in the company. After Diddy bought them out and became the full owner, he used the cash he built up to not give up any ownership in a new deal with Universal Music Group. That screams the influence that Diddy had. By this point in time, Bad Boy Records had over 75 million album sales. Now with Bad Boy came many issues for artists on the label, which I have talked about on my channel. This includes many artists not having any ownership were not getting paid for their work. Over 36 of his former artists have come out in some form to speak about Diddy's business practices. Diddy is known for buying ownership at a low price, buying Mace's catalog for $20,000, now worth over $25 million. Diddy knew the value of masters and what it brought for the company. This did put artists in uncomfortable spots, which is worth mentioning in this video. Still, Diddy and Bad Boy Records took over the world and brought in both money and opportunities. There may have been some iffy deals with artists on the label, but there is no doubt that Diddy did what it took to bring himself and others up to the top of the industry. Bad Boy Records grew to a 75 million plus album sales company. That was what built Diddy the foundation he needed to expand his empire. He has been a natural businessman his entire life, and with his success from music led to success in outside business ventures. Not only was Diddy an entrepreneur with his record label, but his serial entrepreneur mindset only propelled him to be a founder of more. A massive win for Diddy was through his clothing line, Sean John, which was founded in 1998. By the time his clothing brand was up and running, Diddy was already a very prominent figure in the industry and had influence to drive sales. Sean John is a premium valued fashion brand that blended with the hip-hop roots. Focusing on that premium brand strategy was in line with his other ventures, focusing on top quality, driving in high sales. Diddy was bringing in 100% of the income for over 18 years. By 2016, Sean John was still bringing in $450 million in sales per year. It is recorded that Sean John's peak was in 2007 with over $50 million in annual sales. Only a $50 million decrease over 9 years shows that even though the clothing line did have a peak, it was still consistently successful. In 2016 is when Diddy would sell 80% of his share in the company to global brands for $70 million. What makes this even better is that if we fast forward to now, Diddy is back to being the majority owner after reacquiring the company in December of 2021. Global Brands as a whole was experiencing heavy losses of over $584 million in 2020. This led to filing for bankruptcy, which led to Diddy winning the auction to own the company again. This is the power of longevity. Diddy started this company in 1998, made hundreds of millions, sold after the peak, now bought it back at an even lower price to do it all over again. Sean John was a major win for Diddy, and now another big opportunity for another win. A major entrepreneurship venture for Diddy is from 2013 when he founded the TV network Revolt TV with Andy Schwann. Revolt struck deals with Time Warner, Comcast, and other brands to be viewed on cable TV as well as streaming services. The purpose of this worldwide network is to be a platform for various genres of music and art to be captured and discussed. Diddy likes to compare this to MTV, saying that once MTV shifted its focus away from the music industry, this opportunity opened. Diddy revealed that he does own over 51% in the company, but would not disclose exactly what percentage. With Revolt having multiple income streams, whether it's from cable networks or YouTube, revenues have been growing with this past year at $46.9 million. I think there is still a lot of work that needs to be done with this company to keep growing, especially with how fast media is changing. Still, there has been proven success to push this forward. I think tying this network back with the music industry has been and is very important to the success of the brand. Diddy saw this opportunity and made the deals he needed to start his own TV network. Diddy is also the founder in the marketing/advertising company Blue Flame Agency. Blue Flame once again ties back to cross-promoting hip-hop with other industries. In the past, we have seen promotions with Gap and Vogue focusing on hip-hop and using prominent artists as advertising voices. Diddy found a loophole on how he can promote his own businesses by using his own marketing agency. That is a great way to keep money cycling in his pocket while growing from new business. Diddy has been a serial entrepreneur since his beginning, and we see that with this small glimpse into the businesses he founded. Even more successful businesses can be found under his investments. Going into investments, Diddy has all of his business ventures, including everything we have talked about and everything we will continue to talk about, all under a central location, and that is Combs Enterprises. Combs Enterprises was founded in 2013 and has been a tool to consolidate consolidate all of Diddy's ventures under one roof. This is very common for empires built, and we have seen that with massive empires like Procter & Gamble or Coca-Cola. Combs Enterprises is a tool to help the companies under succeed and stay within their purpose. A major player under Combs Enterprises is Diddy's investment into the vodka company ciroc. In 2007, Diddy signed a $100 million deal, taking over 50% of the company to help grow within the US market. Diddy infused the vodka brand with hip-hop, introducing the product to a new audience that would grab on and grow the company. With being invested in this company came decisions on how to expand product lines, in which Diddy states he produced the different flavors, with his favorite being green apple. Ciroc is everywhere within hip-hop, and that came from Diddy's cross-promotion. The luxury brand is now valued at $941 million as of 2019. Under Combs Enterprises is another investment into the beverage industry, and that is with Aqua Hydrate. Diddy, alongside famous actor Mark Wahlberg and others, invested $10 million into the performance water drink. Diddy was inspired by 50 Cent for this investment after 50 found success with vitamin water. The brand is still developing, taking more market share by creating partnerships with well-known athletes. The smart water industry is currently valued at $3.07 billion, with projections to be worth over $30 billion by 2030. That is a lot of room for opportunity for Diddy and Aqua Hydrate. As of 2020, the company was valued at $65 million from full year sales. Now, these are some major investments that Diddy has had. To build a strong empire comes investments on all different sizes. For example, in 2021, Diddy, alongside Kevin Durant and Will Smith, came investments into the electric boat company Arc. The new startup has already raised over $7 million from investors. The electric boats currently are seen as luxury vehicles, but the company's purpose is to make all water vehicles electric. With the movement towards the EV market, it comes to no surprise that this would push into other vehicles outside of cars. If Arc can tackle the gas to electric transition for water vehicles, this could be a major investment for Diddy down the road. I am very excited to see this develop more. Diddy has a well-diversified portfolio of investments on size, industries, and more. With more investments added under Combs Enterprises, the empire will continue to grow. There is an investment funded by Combs Enterprises that I wanted to mention in its own section, and that is for the Capital Preparatory School of Harlem. I think this is so important to mention because this is an investment back into Diddy's community and into the future. The charter school was launched in 2016, but now is recently moving to a new location in order to take on more students. It is awesome to see Diddy's dedication to education and for the future. I am excited to watch as Capital Prep Harlem continues to grow. This leads me to the question, what is next for Diddy? Billionaire status. Diddy has all his ventures under Combs Enterprises, which continues to grow in value and investments. New companies are being added to the portfolio, while current companies like ciroc have been widely successful. I think now that Diddy is back to being the owner of Sean John, there will be a big push within the next 2 years for a comeback. The company is not near where the sales were under Diddy's original ownership, but now that he is back, this is a great opportunity for himself and the company. As for music, I think we will continue to get work from Diddy here and there. His school in Harlem is continuing to expand. His focus is most definitely behind the scenes, focusing on legacy, and we have seen that throughout his career. Billionaire status is very close for Diddy, and with the growth and drive he has, that will be a major upcoming accomplishment for the legend. What is the takeaway from Diddy? The takeaway is to find ways to cross-promote your business with other industries or companies. We have seen this time and time again with Diddy. Music and fashion go really well together. Same with music and beverages or music and media. Diddy used his music to promote Sean John and used Sean John to promote his music. Blending industries increased consumer awareness of Diddy, but also helped increase sales for both companies. For example, if you have a small clothing brand you are trying to grow, why not try to create promotions for it at a concert? Using cross promotions are great ways to increase awareness and find success in more ways than one. In summary, Diddy has had the drive drive throughout his life that pushed him to do whatever it took to be successful in his own mind. He was passionate at a young age for making money, which led to that entrepreneurial mindset. He gained great label experience while working up to vice president at Uptown Records, which was very impactful for when he started Bad Boy Records. This one venture alone would solidify him in history as a very successful label owner, as well as discovering artists who changed the world. Like I mentioned, not every deal on Bad Boy has been done right, and there have been a lot of issues. Though, being on Bad Boy is what put artists in positions that they are in today. If you want to hear more of my thoughts on the bad deals, go watch my worst deals in music industry history video on Bad Boy. Even with how massive Diddy's record label has been, this was just a stepping stone for his other ventures. Diddy blended industries like music and fashion to cross-promote, increasing awareness and sales. His premium fashion brand, Sean John, is back in Diddy's hands after cashing out on millions. Building successful companies within his Combs Enterprises portfolio is what will inch him closer to becoming a billionaire. He understands diversity with his ventures, and we see Diddy popping up in all different industries. In summary, Diddy will not stop until he is successful in his mind. I don't think he will stop pushing. Now his legacy will live on through his empire. And that is how Diddy built his empire. I hope you found this video informational. Please leave a like and subscribe, as well as let me know who I should talk about next. I appreciate everyone who recommended Diddy. Thank you for your time. Have a great day.